What's up, you guys? I want to tell you a little bit about what it takes to start your Amazon business. And I'll drop a few of the links to some of the massive content pieces that I've done about Amazon. So if you have questions and you want to kind of go in there and dig a little deeper, I'll drop it in. I'll also drop in, I've got a cheat sheet that's about almost 50 pages that will teach you step by step, literally what it takes to start your Amazon business as a complete beginner. Doesn't matter if you've ever sold anything in the past, if you don't have a product to sell, if you have no idea what you're doing, if you've never sold anything online and you literally just don't know, all you got to do is jump in, check out some of the content, and you'll figure it out. So here's the step-by-step process. Pretty much break it down into 5 different steps, and I'll outline some of the steps below in the comments. But before I do that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bells so that you get a notification every time I post a new video. Anyways, I'm really excited to be here, but I want to tell you, kind of rewind and go back really briefly and tell you a story that kind of the journey that got me here. So years and years ago, I was running a business and it failed. It literally crashed down all around me, and it really hurt because I remember sitting there one day and there was like the weight of this world on my shoulder, and the pain was so heavy. It was so heavy that I couldn't even hold my neck up. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna support myself? Like, where am I gonna turn? And I pretty much lost all my friends, lost everything that I had, was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And I remember sitting there and just hoping for an answer, praying and trying to figure out, like, can I figure something out? Can I figure this online thing out? And I remember, just studying and trying to figure it out for so long, and like the ups and downs of everything that I had to do to start selling stuff online was intense. All I really wanted to do was, be successful and make money, but more so, I didn't want to sit around and worry, like, how am I going to make money tomorrow? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to, support myself and my family in the future? I didn't have a family then, I have one now. And, I started to lay the foundation of what it would actually take to build something that I knew that could help me and help other people. And it's interesting because as I started to make money online, I thought that was great. It felt wonderful and it felt terrific. But I remember inside how I felt, like this feeling of ease, like this tension was going away, like melting away. And I wanted that freedom, and I wanted the security, and I wanted to be able to look at myself in the mirror and not be like, how am I going to get through this day? So I remember turning to selling stuff online, and it took so long to figure it out that I know that if you're struggling right now, kind of like where I was, then you need a blueprint to how to get from here to where you want to be. And so that's why we're doing this. That's why I wanted to kind of share this with you. So this is just a brief backstory, but I'll share more with you guys later. But so what are the 5 steps that it takes to start your Amazon business? Now, step number 1 is, first of all, if you have questions like, can I do this if I'm from outside of the United States? Or what if I don't have a product to sell? Like, what if I'm not a business? Just understand that you could pretty much sell on Amazon from most countries, almost any country, not every single country. There are some restrictions, and I'm gonna drop the link inside the comments where you can go check and see the approved countries, but most of the countries are approved. And if you can't get the direct payment from Amazon, there's Hyperwallet. And so if you're in a country that supports Hyperwallet, then you're good. And pretty much the first thing that you really need to do is set up what's called an Amazon seller account. Now, if you don't have an Amazon seller account, don't freak out, because you can set one up. But before you go set it up, make sure that you are a business and that you protect yourself. And so how do you protect yourself? You got to go set up an LLC. You got to make sure that, you are protecting yourself financially and legally, protect you and your family. And so you need what's called an LLC. So an LLC in the United States, an LLC is a limited liability company. Now, in different countries, there are different entities that are similar to an LLC. But if you don't have an LLC right now, don't freak out. You can set one up really easily. Even if you're not from the United States, you can set up an LLC. So all you got to do is go online, jump onto BizFiling or Incorporate.com or LegalZoom.com, and you can go and you can set up your own LLC and get started. So once you have all that stuff ready, go to Amazon Sellers Central, and that's where you set up your account. But understand that you have to go through this serious verification process. So if you've never been verified by Amazon, it's kind of like an identity check. You got to be over 18, and if you ask, like, well, can I sell on Amazon if I'm not 18 years old? Well, I guess you could, as long as your parents kind of did everything, but I don't know if that's really the route that you want to go down. So once you have your Seller Central account set up, then pretty much you are ready to sell on Amazon, right? So that was your first step. But the second step is, how do you find profitable products to sell on Amazon? Because if you want to go sell on Amazon right now, and if you don't have a product, that's totally cool. You can still go set up your Seller Central account and go through the steps. And even if you right now are like, I'm not so sure what I want to sell, you should still go through and set up the Seller Central account so that you're ready to sell. So that you're not just kind of like, oh, now I want to sell, and I got to go through this whole process. You're set up and you're ready. So internally, mentally, you're kind of prepared to go and sell. So what do you actually do to find the profitable products on Amazon? That's the question, right? So you got to go through and you got to identify the hyper profitable products. I'll drop a few links into the comments below, and so make sure to check them out. But the number one tool that most people use is called Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is kind of like almost like a backend to Amazon, but it's not really. There is no true backend to Amazon. All of these tools that you see that people are using, they're not really backends. They're just kind of tools that people have created to mimic what's happening in Amazon, right? So you can go through. So basically the whole point is you need to find products that are in high demand, right? And that have low supply and not too much competition, right? So like if you search through Amazon and you see products and you're like, okay, so these have 3,000 reviews, this has 5,000 reviews, this has 10,000 reviews, it's gonna be really, really hard to compete with those people unless you have a massive, massive budget, right? And so if you don't have a massive budget to market and advertise those products, you got to go and start somewhere smaller. Now, just understand, right? If you're asking the question like, how much money do I need to get started on Amazon? You can't do this without a budget. You need a small budget. You don't need a massive budget. You don't need like tens of thousands of dollars, but you do need a budget to sell on Amazon. How much? You should probably estimate somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Maybe $3,000 to $7,000 just to get started, because you have to market it. You have to do things that will drive traffic to your product listing and that you can actually sell to the Amazon shoppers, to the Amazon consumers who are out there buying every single day. So you need a budget. So just understand that you have to have a budget to get started, right? If you want to go and find a product, now there are different kind of strategies for selling on Amazon, but the best strategy that you can do is called private labeling. Now you could go and do retail arbitrage, you can do other things that will, allow you to sell on Amazon, but if you don't want to put in all the manual labor to do a retail arbitrage is kind of like you go into the store, like to the Walmart, and you go find something that's really cheap, buy a bunch, and then sell it on Amazon, right? And you could totally do that. They usually need to have a pretty big budget because you got to buy a lot of it and ship it to Amazon. Now you could still like totally make a good amount of money doing that, but really the best way that you can build a significant business on Amazon is to do something called private labeling. So private labeling is find a product for wholesale and you get a manufacturer in China, right, overseas somewhere. You can sometimes do it in the US, sometimes in India and other countries too, but the big go-to right now is China. And you could source those products through Alibaba and AliExpress. AliExpress is just to get like one-off orders, but Alibaba is for the large, massive orders where you're gonna go and order 1,000 units or 2,000 units or 5,000 units. Pretty much what you really need to do is you gotta build a brand, right? Like it's not like I'm gonna snap my fingers and I'm gonna have this crazy Amazon business that's happening. It's gonna take you a little bit of time, but if you are not afraid of hard work, it's one of the best things that you can do because Amazon has all the demand, right? 50 cents of every dollar spent in the United States today, as of the recording of this video, is spent on Amazon in the United States. 50 cents. So that's half of every e-commerce transaction is spent on Amazon, which is crazy, right? So anyways, you gotta contact the suppliers on Alibaba, and I'll drop some manufacturer's template. Actually, if you grab the cheat sheet in the comments, there is a manufacturer's template kind of teaching you how to contact these manufacturers, what to say, how many of them to contact. Everything is in the cheat sheet, so go check that out and go download it for free. And once you contact the suppliers and you find them, then you have to be able to brand your products, right? So you have to know what to ask them. You have to know how to put the UPC label. You need to first of all get a UPC barcode, and then you have to create what's called an FNSKU, which is like Amazon's specific SKU number. And in order to generate one, you need a UPC, and you can get a UPC. It's all in the link in the cheat sheet, so go check that out. And it kind of breaks it down step by step so that I don't have to show you everything over the shoulder here. And you have to also get a brand done, right? You gotta get a logo, you gotta do the packaging, you gotta deal with some stuff. But the cool thing is once it's all set up, then you just press go and you figure out the whole selling process. You just order more, stock up more quantities. You ship stuff to the Amazon fulfillment center. So here's how it goes, right? You find the popular, hot, or in-demand products, and you got to be careful, watch out for seasonality. Again, the cheat sheet will teach you all that stuff, so go read that if you want to kind of follow along, and it'll break it down step by step. And you find the popular products, contact the manufacturers, right? And you get them to, brand the product to you. And then you go and you list that product on Amazon, and you have to create your listing the right way, right? You got to find the right keywords, you got to create the description, and then you got to get the product photography done. All this stuff is super important. So obviously you need a sample. Never sell anything on Amazon without getting samples first. And that's going to cost you a little bit to get samples, usually around like $50 to $150. And you should be contacting anywhere from 3 to 5 suppliers. And so once you get all the samples, you figure out, hey, this is the right one, and you get it branded, right? And everything is all done. The manufacturer can actually ship everything directly to the Amazon fulfillment center. Then they actually check in your product, and then you can start selling it on Amazon, because then you'll see the inventory online, and you'll see your product is online ready for sale. And then you have to actually start to drive traffic to it. So you got to get reviews, which is one huge thing, right? So like the thing that most Amazon sellers struggle with is, how do I get reviews? How do I get reviews? How do I compete with these people with so many reviews, right? All that stuff is answered in a cheat sheet, so be sure to check it out. So you got to get reviews, and you got to get sales. Now, the Amazon algorithm is very much dependent on sales velocity, right? So Amazon's whole thinking is, if a product is selling a lot, then clearly it's a popular product, then we should show it first, right? But it's kind of like chicken or the egg, right? So you gotta get sales. You have to have reviews to get sales. And so how do you kind of where do you start? Where do you turn first? And that's something that really drives a lot of people crazy, because I did all this work, I found the profitable product, I shipped it to Amazon's warehouse. Now, how the heck do I get reviews, right? How do I get sales? How do I compete with these people who are absolutely crushing it? You got to do two things, and that's Amazon PPC. Now, remember when I said you need a budget, right? So you need to be able to advertise these products on Amazon using something called PPC. PPC is pay-per-click advertising. And so you're gonna need to advertise it on Amazon, you're gonna need to sell it on Amazon, you need to do a lot of different things to ensure that you could compete with the other sellers. But once you get all that stuff down, it is literally just reproduce a template, refill, restock the warehouse, send it to Amazon, and continue to make money over and over again. So think about this, right? So if you're selling a $20 product on Amazon that costs you $2 to produce, that's a 10x margin, right? And you order 1,000 of those, and that's $2,000 to order the inventory, and you sell 1,000 of those, that's $20,000 that you would actually generate from Amazon, which is incredible. The beauty is Amazon has over 300 million Prime members. So the demand is all there, and most of the Prime members are spending a lot of money. One statistic says that it's about $1,400 per household, and which is pretty crazy, right? And so that's kind of the step-by-step nutshell for Amazon. I will do some more deep dive videos. I know that you guys are asking for it, but I want to just drop this on here, kind of give you guys an overview. Be sure to check out the cheat sheet, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you have any specific questions that I can help with, and I'll see you guys on the next video.